how Mark went from 7K a month to 21K a month, right?
That was last month, yeah.
In 92 days. So, Mark, welcome to the call. Glad to have you here. We were talking about the fact that I like the Mindbender method. That's a program name, right? That's a mentorship. And you came in, you were like, it's just only 90 days. And I was like, dude, 90 days is good enough. 90 days is good enough. And you're like, are you sure? And then you're like, well, look at where you're here right now. Our goal was to hit 10K a month consistently, but you were making like 21K a month, and you even showed a screenshot. I'll put the screenshot somewhere around here. But yeah, welcome in again. Before meeting me though, like what was your sales journey looking like so far?
Um, I feel like I took to it pretty quickly, in terms of getting on an offer, a decent offer. And I kind of, got my way to the top of the leaderboard. But the offer was we're consistently doing about 200, 150, 200K a month. And I've done pretty well there. But obviously, being in the industry, I knew that wasn't my potential. That wasn't where I wanted to be. Doing 8K a month. Like
Yeah.
that was not what I came here for. It wasn't so fast. It took a while. I worked with different coaches, different mentorships, and definitely took some value, but never actually broke that ceiling.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a journey, but I've
So
enjoyed it.
there's a couple of questions that derives from that basically, right? It's like the first question would be like, you invested in a lot of mentorship before, and then it kind of got you to a good 7, 8K a month, but you couldn't really break through the 10K a month really. And you broke through 10K and even 21K a month with me. Like, what do you think was the difference between all of that and with what I do?
It was mindset. It was like mindset and conviction, just giving me that confidence. And during that first month, like that was tough. I felt like I went backwards, and like I was questioning myself. I was beating myself up. Like I'd started this new training, and I was giving 100%, but my results wasn't showing. And obviously, when you see other people getting them, as much as you're in competition with yourself, like it becomes a bit of a frustration. And that's when I reached out and asked for the one-to-one, because I was, it was starting to hurt a little. As I say, felt like I went backwards because it was a new method. I was trying new things and probably lost a little bit of the conviction and confidence with what I've been doing, because I was trying something new. And I remember you saying like that can happen, ride it out. But when you're getting paid commission only, like it
Yeah.
becomes a little bit more of a desperation, and you've got to really pull yourself out of that and go in with your belief. So I know I had a one-to-one call with you, and that definitely shifted, because I went on a great run, in at the end of that month. I think I collected more in that last week than I had for the previous 3 weeks of the month. So I pulled it back, that first month, but it was still tough. It was new.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you trusting me, by the way, because I literally told you in the first month your sales is gonna dip with something like you with your sales selling, because I was looking at your selling style, and my selling style is a bit quite different, like very, very different from what you're selling. But I knew that if you pulled, not to my own horn, but if you pull my style over here, you'll just instantly collect more cash. I knew that from the very get-go. And if you just deliver with full conviction, there's nothing stopping you. One thing that I really wanted to make clear with you was making sales so easy for you, so
Yeah,
simplified and so easy for you. That's what I worked on one-on-ones with you, right? And within the
yeah.
mentorship, making it so easy for you, simplified. Now, what's happening in your calls right now nowadays?
Getting a lot more paid in full. One
Yeah,
call closing,
yeah,
sometimes two, but a lot more paid in full. I think last month I didn't have any payment plans. They were literally all piffs, which is not usual for me, because I was always pretty much the nice guy. And if I can help someone out and make things a bit easier for them, like I give them that option. But that comes down to a lack of conviction in actually what I was doing, in holding them to the highest potential. So yeah, you given me that framework, simplified it. And look, it wasn't easy, because it was a new drill,
yeah.
but it was just repetition. And the way you coached it was just like 10 times, 10 times a day, 10 times in the morning, 10 times in the afternoon, and just make it part of your subconscious, make it flow naturally. And that's what it did. So really grateful for the coaching. And must I say, like the harsh words at times, and telling me to, what I needed to do.
Yeah. Again, like kudos to you for trusting through, right? Because like if tough times happen, like and like people like to look at the tree, not the forest. So
Hmm.
I saw like what you're capable of, like, and but if you kind of quit through and just like half-assed it, it'll just never have worked through. But you just gave your 100%, even though it's not working at that very small moment, right? You just push through and still trust the process. So it's all you, man. Like, I mean, you decided to just go all in 100% and you're reaping the benefits of it. And therefore, it just allows you more conviction because the method is just basically what decoding, reading the human being, right? Spotting language patterns, feeding new language patterns, and shifting the belief system. That's why I named it the mind bending method because it's literally just mind bending someone to actually have them make the best decision of themselves and be 100% truthful to yourself that you show up with full conviction. And probably that's why people are piffing you, or you're just, I don't know, getting lucky after lucky, I don't know. Like maybe it's just luck after luck.
That's what I thought at first, but it's no, it's consistent, and I'm feeling it, and I think you get that. I think at first, you feel like you've had a little bit of luck, but once it becomes consistent, it just adds to the confidence and the conviction
Yeah.
for the next one.
Yeah. I'm really curious because you're living in Southeast Asia, right?
Mhm.
And you have all the reasons to stay comfortable making 7, 8K a month. There was one month there where you even made 9.5K a month with all on your own before the mentorship. Like, why couldn't you just settle with that though? Why did you have to pay someone again, like someone like me, to actually really see what's out there?
Well, I mean, you see other people doing it, and ultimately, like we've all got infinite amount of potential, and 9K living where we are is okay, but I'm not here to be okay. I want to be able to provide for my children, my family, and ultimately, get ahead. That's what we're here to do, and I've always worked hard in whatever I've done. I'm never satisfied. I'm always striving, and I believe that that's the key to life. To be working towards a goal, and when you hit a goal, set another one, and you go again, don't you? So first goal was 10K, and it took me a while, 18 months in sales, and as I say, being close, 9.5, 9.7. It was like there was this mental barrier though.
Yeah.
Like I'd had great months and then all of a sudden just hit a block.
Yeah.
So I know that it was definitely them roadblocks that got lifted.
It's a good thought process, right? Because if you're that close, you can think like, oh, I could just figure it out myself. I was this close. But again, you paid someone, right? What was the mentality behind that?
I'd seen your results during with other people, and I thought, even when I booked the call, I wasn't 100% that I was going to work with you. I wasn't, but you closed me, and you bent my mind, and ultimately it hit home. It's as a closer, we know what we're doing in discovery to put prospects into their situation, to get them to want to um, reach for more, to get them to strive for the people who depend on them.
Yeah.
And it's like I know that, but you actually taking me through that journey and querying me on it, like that was enough for me to go like, yeah, I do have to do more. So I'm really grateful,
Yeah.
eternally grateful.
I mean, grateful for you as well. Like you've been a great client. Like I said, trusting through, which it doesn't work at that very first second. Is like you still push through because there could be you could have asked for a refund even like, hey, June, like what is this? Like you could have asked for a refund. But like you push through, you started making some really huge progress from, like I said, literally 8K a month, 7K a month, to now what, 21K a month, and being consistent with that, right? Um, I remember when you got on the first, I still remember the first sales call and that I had with you. And what you're looking for was obviously you wanted to break 10K, 20K a month, but what you told me was that you just don't know what you're doing in your discovery. Like you're all mashed
Mhm.
up, like you're just like uncertain of what you do, and even you're anxious on getting on the next call because you just don't know what you need to do. How are things different now?
Yeah, I mean, with that, you know, it. I'd say that's come from basically mishmashing a lot of different coaching and techniques together, and kind of making it my own, and still closing deals, but ultimately not having a solid process and framework. And working with yourself, it was like, no, look, this is the framework. And even though it didn't click for me straight away, I knew that the process would. It come down to my application. What was tough was riding it out and trusting in it when I thought, if I just go back to what I was doing, maybe I'll do better.
Yeah.
But it's like, the what I've been doing had only got me so far. So yeah, I had to take a step back to then take a leap forward.
What I've noticed from you, two things. Like before we we booked this meeting, right? Like number one thing was like, hey, like if you want to come to the coaching calls, you're still welcome to come to the coaching calls. And you were like telling me, hey, June, I don't want to change a single thing. But that I actually love when I heard that from you, because what's working, you don't have to change it, right? Just double down on it. But it shows that you're now 100% certain what you need to do in a call. Like I was
Yeah,
okay, as a coach, I got my job done with Mark. So it was kind of like a proud moment for me, you know. Second thing
yeah,
is I wish people could see the actual first coaching call that I've done with you, because you're talking with so much conviction right now. Like I'm
yeah,
seeing a whole different version of Mark than the Mark like 2 months, 3 months ago, literally. Like this version of Mark, like you're way more. I mean, obviously you're making more money, so you're happier. But I don't know if it's chicken and egg thing where like you make more
yeah.
money and you're happy, or making more money, whatever it is. But right now, the demeanor that you have right now is a complete different, a better version of yourself right now. Literally, cliche. I know it's cliche, corny, but you're like literally appearing as a better version of yourself.
No, and it is, obviously earning money is great, and that's what we're here to do. But it's also like getting the result with the client as well. And sometimes, a big win doesn't have to be the biggest cash collected. It can be, working with that person and getting them through their obstacles. When you get that kind of internal satisfaction, you know that you're going into the next call and you're there to to help them solve a problem. We
Yeah.
don't solve the problem, we facilitate their mind to see the solution and lead them through that. So it's it's a really satisfying thing, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, glad to see you enjoying it, right? Like the offer's been around for a year on a really good offer, and you know how to make 20K a month, so like it's impossible. You're in a really good situation right now, because now, like, if you think about it, Mark, like you can go into any offer that you can crush, but aside from that, like you're in a position where it's just impossible for you to go broke, impossible for you to make less than 10K a month now, no matter how hard you try, if you think about it. Because
Yeah,
now you know
no, that
exactly what you need to do. You're not offer dependent. You know exactly what you do in the call.
yeah, and that's it. It was like I knew once I broke that ceiling that there's no going back. Like, the bar's being raised, and it's a mindset thing. Once you've got that internalized, you're carrying that, and I won't settle for less.
Yeah.
Like, it won't happen.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. It's like literally planning a new identity in yourself. Like that's what I talk about all the time. Planning a new identity in your prospects, shift their
Yeah,
beliefs. It's like borderline manipulation, because you're just literally manipulating them to know that they can do more and they will do more and they deserve more, right? But you cannot do that unless you actually adopt a whole different identity on yourself. You're operating a whole different identity, and therefore, like, yes, there's sexy word tracks that I do, right? Like I teach all of that, right? But it's more about being able to deliver them in a way that your best version would deliver, and just holding them high on a higher standard to make sure that they actually adopt a new standard in place as well, you know?
for sure. And that part of, like, being curious about why they're not actually, achieving more, and really putting that back onto them. I think that's a needle mover, because it's about them coming up
Yeah.
with the realization.
Yeah.
We can hold people to the highest potential, but I also believe that it's like you've got to be that person yourself.
100%.
You
100%. So like your wife, your kids absolutely hate you now for making more money. Like they absolutely like, hey, get the fuck out of the house now. You're making too much money, you know?
if I'm honest, like, as long as I play Paw Patrol, they don't. they don't care too much.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're
Bubble
good,
lifestyle.
they're in a good position, which is what I'm doing this for.
Yeah. Yeah. I think even you told me like you're working less hours now and you're spending more time with the kids and everything, but
Yeah,
you're actually making more money, ironically, you know.
yeah, no, definitely. Me 2 best months have actually took less calls, which for me just means that if I ever do want to take more calls and open up, then the opportunity's there. But yeah, I mean, for me, obviously having 3 children, is like it's the balance. It's I could go and work 12 hours a day, but miss out on them, and that's not what I'm doing this for either. It's about being there for them, but also doing something that gives us the life we want.
100%. And 3 kids, someone's been busy though, and someone's still busy though. So, good for you. Good to hear. Any last words that you want to tell to these skeptical mofos that are on the fence working with June, or just getting a mentor in general, I guess, because obviously you can figure it out yourself, right?
Well, I mean, you can, but it's about claps and time, isn't it? And ultimately, like with any investment, it's about getting that return on investment. And if other people are doing it, the question is like, why can't you? What are you sitting on the fence for? And it's like the prospects. The a lot of people say, and I use one of your analogies all the time. There's 2 types of people in the world. There's the people who say I can't do it because of XYZ, and then there's the people who say I'm gonna do it despite of XYZ. And that is like ultimately conviction in yourself, isn't it? No matter what comes up, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
And I think if you can work with people who can give you that motivation, that inspiration, and like I enjoyed all the coaching, I enjoyed all the modules, but realistically, that one-to-one call with you shifted something. So the mentorship fee alone was worth that one meeting. Like obviously, I got a lot of other stuff from it, which was great and padded it out, but it's golden nuggets, little takeaways that ultimately move the needle
Yeah.
and shift you for that return on investment's gonna go to infinity, isn't it? For as long as I can. That's in me.
Yeah.
You never lose if you invest in education.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And Mark, appreciate you for being a really, really great client, student, good friend as well. Like love seeing your journey and everything. Appreciate you hopping on this call. So that's that, guys. So we'll see you in the next one. Ciao.